this is a mission for you to put out your muscle-centric philosophy and mission because you saw so many sick people that weren't getting the right information. So talk to us for a second, Gabrielle, about why muscle-centric. The Lyon protocol, it's all based on not losing weight, my friends. It's based on building muscle, and that's a non-negotiable, you said. You have got to wait.
Non-negotiable. Can I tell a quick story? We have a
Yeah.
little bit of time for a
Oh,
quick story.
I have all the time in the world for you.
Wonderful. I after I completed my residency in family practice, I had already studied professionally nutrition for 5 years. Then you go to medical school, you do a residency, and then a physician can choose to go back and do additional training, which is exactly what I did. I went back to Washington University in St. Louis because I wanted to study nutrition more. And the deal was, in order for me to study nutrition more, to do clinical research in nutrition, I would do geriatric care. I would look at the combination of brain function and body composition and nutritional sciences. Sign me up. Okay, I'm going to do it. And a funny thing happened, and I'm sure you can relate to this, and the people on this wonderful webinar can relate. There's always one person that changes our thinking, that creates a moment that transforms us. And during the day, I was seeing patients in the hospital. We were doing memory and aging clinics. On the weekends, I was seeing patients in the nursing home because, again, the primary goal of an individual, especially at WashU, of a geriatric fellow, is to take care of Alzheimer's, et cetera. And as you know, that is a very challenging experience, seeing families go through this. And then in the evenings, I was doing obesity medicine research, and I was running an obesity medicine clinic. And this one participant, I was working on a study that looked at brain function and body composition. I absolutely fell in love with one participant. She was in her mid-50s, a mom of 3, had always put herself last, held
Mhm.
down the fort, cycled through 20 to 30 pounds for her entire life. And she had done exactly what the medical community had told her to do. She did her walking, she did Jenny Craig, she did Weight Watchers, she followed the food guide pyramid, and she struggled. But she was taking the advice that the medical community had given her, which was lose more body fat. Every time she did that, she lost more skeletal muscle every single time. So by the time that I saw her, when we imaged her brain looked like the beginning of an Alzheimer's brain.
Mm.
And I'll never forget her face, and I'll never forget the experience. But I felt that we had failed her, that I had failed her, the medical community had failed her, and I was never going to let that happen again.
Mm.
Um, it's still, uh, it's still there.
Yeah.
I still feel it.
Yeah.
And I went back to the literature. I went to my colleagues and I said, listen, this can't be right. She's in her mid-50s. How are we seeing this? And how are we seeing this with other individuals that have constantly cycled through this weight gain, weight loss,
Mm.
and yet we're still focused on obesity? And then I started thinking, what was the one thing that all my sickest patients had in common? It wasn't this obesity epidemic. It was a muscle mass crisis. And I
Mm.
had this aha moment that we were chasing the wrong thing, that for the last 50 years, we've been chasing obesity when in reality, these issues of metabolic dysfunction and, a precursor for Alzheimer's, that this was all rooted in the health of skeletal muscle. And that is the moment that muscle-centric medicine was born.